Good afternoon, everyone. I'm doing smaller videos for specific subjects or specific areas of Edmodo to kind of break it up, because I had a 50-minute video and I'm going to go ahead and post that still, but I also want to have a few smaller videos to where if you were looking for something specific in Edmodo, you can go to that video and get the information you need. With that being said, I'm going to go over the small groups portion of Edmodo. Now, this is the diversified teaching strategies portion of what I was explaining in the long, almost hour-long video that I created. Basically, what small groups does is it allows you to create what I refer to. It is small groups, but it's like a subgroup of your main parent group. Now, just to give you the information, it's just like a hierarchy of folders in your computer. Okay, if you go to C, which is your C drive, then program files, then Microsoft Office and Microsoft Word 2010, you can see where it's a parent folder is the C drive. Then your sub-parent would be program files, sub-parent, etc., etc. Now, Edmodo works a little bit differently. You can only have one parent group, but you can have multiple small groups. Now, you cannot have a small group within a small group. Like a sub small group you can't have. You can only have small groups breaking up your main group. So that helps you out there. Now, what these small groups do is, I have these examples here just to show you what we have going on. And this is a small group that I had created from my first semester class of Introduction to Digital Tech or Business Technology, second block. So what you have here is I have the groups, small groups, Tesla, Edison, Einstein, and Final. Now, to just show you Final, I had just created that group the week before the last week of school, because I wanted to have a group where I knew who were of my students who were going to have to take the final. Now, of my 32 students I had, 17 of them were not able to exempt the final. Okay, so that's what this group did for me. Now, I was originally going to do the final quiz on Edmodo, but I decided to do Scantron with the questions printed out, just so we wouldn't have to use a computer and there wouldn't be any confusion about any of the kids that showed up that didn't have to take the final, which I did. I had a good amount in my second block that were not eligible to take the final, but they still showed up. So basically, if you look at this, and the way my groups went was, the first group I created, of course, was Tesla. Basically, Tesla has 7 members. These members, this was basically my struggling group. If you were put in Tesla, not that you would know this because I didn't broadcast this to the class, but basically, if you were in my Tesla group, you either had a 504, an IEP, or you were a straight up struggling student that just, whether it was the first time you laid hands on a computer or whatnot. But if you were in the Tesla group, it meant that you were struggling hardcore. Okay, so basically, that group was created, and what I did notice is a lot of them were visual learners. Okay, so when I looked at this scenario, I tried to do specific assignments for them that were tailored to watching a video and then doing what the video asks you to do, so they could always rewind the video a little bit and do it again. So, but regardless, whatever your assignments are for that particular group, you still can post the assignment. If it's a handout, right? If it's watching a video with the class on the projector in the front of the classroom and then writing a reflective essay based on their Lexile score, whatever it's going to be, you can still post the assignment. Don't get me wrong. Don't think you have to do just videos or just this or just that. No, the assignment is just that. If you do assignment, if you click here, number one, you create the assignment title is Edmodo 101, and then of course you would describe the assignment. Watch the video at the beginning of class and write a 2-paragraph reflective essay and turn in to me at the end of the day. by the end of the block. Okay, something like that. Due date, you put today's date. Okay, and then you would just click send. All right, and that sends it only to the Tesla group. So if this was one of those 101 assignments where it's just a basic for the ones that are struggling, etc., then you would post it just to Tesla. Now you see how I did that. I was already in the Tesla group. Now my Edisons are the majority of students in my class. 25 of the students in my class are part of the Edison group. Okay, so they get a little bit more rigor in their assignments. Okay, there's that buzzword, rigor. Gotta have that rigor in a classroom based on the standards. Ka-chow! So basically you understand how that goes. Alright, and the assignments are just a little bit more difficult. They push the envelope a little bit more on ability. And then of course, if you want to post it here, again you see how it's just for Edison. Alright, finally my Einstein, they are my, the bread and butter of the class. They're the ones obviously that are doing the assignments in T-minus 5 minutes after you post them, which you can only do what you can do. You can't, you don't want to keep overburdening them. I did that in the beginning of the 9 weeks, the first 9 weeks, and I realized I can't punish these kids for doing their job and going above and beyond the call of duty. I mean, you can only do so much. Otherwise, they're going to get burned out, because I did have 2 kids that were my creme de la creme in the first 9 weeks, and the second 9 weeks they just took a nasty plunge into the lazy river, okay, if you will. So you can't, obviously me as a first year teacher, I did not know that. I was like, man, they're getting this stuff done. I'm just pop, 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 right? And next thing you know, it was like, Mr. Holland, this is too much. And I mean, I'm having my star players telling me it's too much. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And that's just again a real brief overview of small groups, so you understand. One of the other things I want to give information to you on is when you're in the parent group, which is the main group, whatever you post in here is posted to all of the subgroups, okay, or all of the small groups. So if you do an assignment on Introduction to Business and Technology second block, that means everyone in the class will be assigned this. Just keep that in mind, okay? So I don't usually create my small groups until about a week or two into this first 9 weeks, because it takes you a little while to figure out who's who and who's struggling and who's not. Okay, so hopefully this helps you. If you need any other information from me, just hit me up and I'll help you out. Thanks.